We're going over further details in regards to Xbox Project xCloud, the requirements, the details, and the further information that is really needed for the service, because I saw quite a lot of questions on my initial video about the announcement in regards to the release date and all of the peripherals that are going to be available. So first off, there's two features to this app. There is Xbox Project xCloud, and then there's console streaming. So for Project xCloud, it allows you to stream a collection of games directly from the cloud. These use Xbox One S blades currently, and then in early 2021, they're supposed to move over to Xbox Series X blades. That's in regards to the capability that is powering your games server side. So when there's console streaming, which is the second part of the app, this allows you to stream games from your console, so the games you own, streaming over the network so that you can play it that way. Project xCloud allows you to basically experience these games anywhere at any time, whereas game streaming is sort of locked to more of a local capability in regards to console to phone. So this will be available on Android devices on September 15th, 2020. Now, when it comes to iOS, we do have further details, and we're going to go over that a little bit later. Firstly, I want to go over the Samsung Galaxy Store special features. So the Note 20 will have special Game Pass Ultimate features, and it'll also have a special package for Game Pass if you're jumping into the phone with that partnership. So the Samsung partnership allows a special direct app to be available on Galaxy devices. This is going to be a more streamlined way to get games, features, and it kind of entirely circumvents the Google Play Store. This will also be available on Google Play, but this is a special feature-boosted app that is going to be available on Galaxy devices, which is great. It's nice to see them working with Samsung, and I think that really kind of starts a partnership up where we could eventually see this available on TVs and other screens, because Samsung works on a lot of things. That's not official, that's not entirely announced right now, it's just the phones and tablets, but it's a good start and it's kind of exciting. So there's no iOS Apple support because they want to review every single game. So the full details here, this is what Apple had to say. Our customers enjoy great apps and games from millions of developers, and gaming services can absolutely launch on the App Store as long as they follow the same set of guidelines applicable to all developers, including submitting games individually for review and appearing in charts and search. That is what Apple stated as a direct quote. Microsoft responded, Apple stands alone as the only general-purpose platform to deny consumers from cloud gaming and game subscription services like Xbox Game Pass. It consistently treats gaming apps differently, applying more lenient rules to non-gaming apps when they include interactive content, which is a really great point to make, and I do think that Apple is going to have to deal with some sort of antitrust on this at some point. It's going to happen, and if anyone's going to take them on, it's probably the juggernaut Microsoft, because they kind of stand toe-to-toe. I also imagine that Google, with their Stadia, is a little bit disappointed, and Nvidia with their GeForce Now system, which are all cloud streaming services. I feel like these companies are going to team up in regards to kind of taking Apple to a court system or something in regards to getting this pushed and happen. I do think eventually Apple will cave and this will happen, but for now, no iOS support, which is really disappointing. I tested it a lot on my XS, which is my primary device, so it does sort of suck that is not a thing that is available at the current time. I do, again, really see that this will be a thing eventually. They just have to work towards it, because the big comparison made here is that you're paying for a subscription. You're not paying individually for the different games through the xCloud service. They could at least offer that, because you make the comparison to, say, like Netflix, where you're paying a subscription and you're able to access all their movies, and Apple doesn't have to individually rate any of those. And I think it's mostly to try to protect their Apple Arcade and their game ecosystem there, because nobody was going to want to play mobile titles like of that degree when you have AAA high tier gaming experiences. And that's just a light comparison I'm making. I'm sure there's better notions in regards to understanding that, but I just want to give a blanket quick context to those that are kind of wondering why this is specifically picking out the gaming side of things, and hopefully eventually we're able to get to that streaming working on iOS, because that would be fantastic for a lot more individuals. So now we're going to go into further details here in regards to requirements. So you need Android 6.0 on phone or tablet, Bluetooth 4.0, and you will eventually be able to experience this on Windows 10 PC later on. I think they're testing it to some degree. I'm not in those tests. With that, we go back to the cost. You need Game Pass Ultimate for the xCloud. So that is $1 the first month and then $14.99 afterwards. So I believe that is in USD pricing for that information, just so you understand. Again, super affordable for the tier of games you're getting. You're getting all of the Xbox first party and a large number of high tier third party titles, and we're going to go over that listing a little bit later. You also need an Xbox wireless controller with Bluetooth support. There are optional extra peripherals available if you want something more form factor, and we kind of went over those in the last video, so I'm not going to really be jumping into them again. So some games also have touchscreen support. This includes Gears 5 and Hellblade, with more titles to follow. This is a special integration that's being done. They are considering doing a native implementation across all the games where it just kind of throws the controller on the screen. But for some of them, they're actually taking the time to customize a control scheme that works for those particular titles. And I've tried it on Hellblade. It is fantastic to use touch controls on there. It works really well for that game. And I mean, some games are a little bit easier than others to do, and I'm just trying to give you context there too. You also need a 5 GHz gigahertz Wi-Fi or mobile data connection with at least 10 megabytes down. Hope I said the gigahertz right on that one. I believe that's correct. So you do need 10 megabytes down in order to have a good connection here. Keeping in mind that data usage will change depending on the game you're playing, what network you're using, and whether you're playing like multiplayer in the game, because that's going to be a little bit more demanding in regards to your connection requirement and your bandwidth. So if you're on the go doing cellular, you're going to need a pretty good connection to be able to do this for a long term, and hopefully connections improve over time, because they're really not too fantastic in most places, especially where I am in Canada. It's not good. So there's 22 launch countries and more are to follow. So if you're left out of the initial batch, more are coming. This really is, like I said previously in the last video, this is their push to capture markets where traditionally individuals would never be able to play console games. This is how you get that experience to them, and I'm sure they're trying to fine tune it for every individual market. So your friends list, your achievements, your controller settings, and your saved game progress will carry over. So you can, because somebody did ask for a full in-depth information bit on this last time, and I replied to that. But the details are, I'm sitting at home, I'm playing the Gears 5 campaign, I need to go to work. I put the Gears 5 down, assuming I worked in an office. Anyways, you put the controller down, you quit the game, whatever. I go to work, I got a lunch break, I want to play Gears 5, I turn it on xCloud, I continue right from where I was in the game, right at the same moment with my saves, all my progress, all my achievements. I put it down, I'm like, oh, back to work. And then I come home, I sit there on the console, and I can continue playing from where I left off on my phone. So it's just one seamless experience the whole way through. And you can also include PC in that too. You could be just a PC player playing Gears 5. Again, the same process. At home, playing on the PC, go play xCloud in the office, come home and continue from where I left off. It's just one seamless cloud-based experience in regards to your saves, your content, and your progress. And I thought that was really important to kind of go in depth with, because there was a question specific about that, and I hope that makes a lot of sense. So these are the games to be excited about. I picked a series of titles that I believe will be on there for the long term due to the ownership of the titles being Microsoft first party and also being an extended partnership. I would like to first mention the Yakuza series, which seems to be more of a tight-knit partnership with Sega and Xbox, and I think that's going to go on for quite a while, which is why I mention it. They're fantastic games, and I do suggest playing them. Start from Yakuza 0 and make your way up, because it's really quite a worthwhile time. Also, I mentioned Fallout 76 because I feel like there's going to be some sort of long-term partnership with Bethesda in regards to the Fallout franchises and their connection to Xbox. So from there, there's also Grounded, which is a great survival game, Halo the Master Chief Collection, which is a collection of excellent titles, Halo 5 Guardians, Forza Horizon 4, Minecraft Dungeons, the Gears of War franchise, which is a pile of games, 1 to 4, Judgment, or I guess it's 1 to 5 now for Gears. Oh wow, Gears just flow by, and Judgment, alongside, if they do any additional other releases. I guess they also did Ultimate Edition for Gears 1, so that's another one on top of that. But the whole Gears of War franchise is there. Sea of Thieves, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Ori and the Blind Forest, State of Decay 2, and State of Decay 1, Year 1 edition of the first game, Alan Wake, Crackdown 3, The Outer Worlds, the Bard's Tale franchise, which is kind of hilarious, Minecraft, Super Lucky's Tale, Bleeding Edge, Battletoads, the Fable franchise, Fusion Frenzy, Hellblade, first game, and then the second game later on too, Killer Instinct, Combo Breaker. It's really great. Killer Instinct. Give it a whirl. It's a lot of fun. Works beautifully on xCloud. Rise, Son of Rome, Recore, Quantum Break, Rare Replay, Tell Me Why, and Destiny 2, because it seems like Microsoft is working closely with Bungie again, which is fantastic. I hope you found all of this information helpful and in depth. If you do have any questions about any aspects that I covered, give me a comment or whatever, let me know. Just in general with questions, be sure to like the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and subscribe, and it's cool if you'd like to do that as well.